An interview with Alon Yarel. The interview will be computerized. We host Mr. Alon Yarel. The world's first discovered the origin of the universe. Alon Yarel is an entrepreneur and inventor. The inventions received development grants from the chief scientist in the office of the Minister of Trade and Industry in Israel. Alon Yarel. I'm glad to have you here. You succeeded in proving your claim. How do you feel about it?
It feels great, but I feel the journey is just beginning.
What do you mean?
This is the journey to publish the discoveries and to carry out the conclusions of the discoverings.
What conclusions should be made?
The tasks of making a space rift and entering to other universes. The task of contact with aliens behind the space rift.
Do you succeed in your goals?
Yes, but I'm taking only the first step. I am showing and also proving the truth of my discoveries.
You've already posted a few videos, and you have now another new video. What's new? Are there any new discoveries?
Yes, there are new discoveries. The video that will be presented later after this interview is a full video that finds all the past discoveries, and there is a little more discoveries about the black hole on the surface of the sun.
How did you ever think about exploring the origin of the universe? What is your background?
The subject always interested me. I studied astronomy on my own. I studied the subject.
You created a presentation of the creation of the universe. I must say it's confusing. On the one hand, it sounds impossible to know the origin of the universe. But on the other hand, you detailed in detail the sequence of events from the beginning of creation in a wondrous manner to this day. How did you do it?
In fact, all the information was already here. I had only to process the information into one discovery of the origin of the universe. I collected the data and combined them into one scientific conclusion of discovering the origin of the universe. One discovery led to another discovery. The discoveries are indeed amazing that will change the life of mankind forever.
Still, what point that you realized you discovered the origin of the universe?
It was clear to me all the time that there had to be a black hole close to the sun and that it was pouring mass into the sun. I thought at first that the black hole was close to the sun, because of that the mass coming out is limited. Which means that the sun blocks the black hole and that modulates the flow of mass that enters and flows into the sun. Of course, this is not the case. The critical turning point was when I watched a picture of stardust around the solar system. It took me time to understand, but in the end I understood. It was necessary to understand that this was a continuous flow of stardust on the sun for millions of years. It was necessary to understand that there must be time differences of millions of years in order to have a continuous flow of stardust on the surface of the sun for millions of years. It was necessary to understand that the mass that enters our universe from the black hole is stardust as a result of the time difference.
I understand that you want the device to be developed for space rift. What's good for? Who needs it?
When the continents were separated, the development of mankind was small and slow. When all continents are united, the development of mankind has accelerated. The result is that the quality of life increased in all the world. I expect humanity's development to be even more accelerated when it joins up with other lives beyond the rift of space. Besides, global warming will not stop. We must find a new home, starting right now.
But planets have been observed that can fit habitable humans in our universe. What is the problem of looking for a new home in our universe? Why search for a new home in another universe?
The problem is the distance. These are light years in which the nearest star is found to be habitable. According to the speed of technological development, it is appropriate and desirable to combine additional channels. We may not be able to reach those planets that may be habitable. Time is limited and we must exhaustion of possibilities. Besides, better not fall asleep on guard duty. It is best for us to quickly connect and learn from friendly aliens, before we meet non-friendly aliens and we will not be able to deal with them. Searching in another universe can produce surprising results.
What do you mean? What surprising results?
Thanks to the good relationships we will create, we will cooperate with other forms of life beyond the space rift.
But how do we get to another universe? How do we make a space rift?
This black hole is a rift in space. Space rift can be made by artificial means.
Do you mean that we will make a nuclear explosion in space to create the black hole?
I thought of something a bit more controlled. A controlled space rift.
But it is known that black holes has tremendous powers that even the light is not reflected from the hole itself. Only getting close to the black hole would crush any mass approaching her. Would not it be dangerous?
Right. But there are several types of black holes. The goal is not to create the entirety of the black hole. The goal is to create a minor and temporary space rift, something controlled. Any innovation raises concerns. Our job is to minimize dangers and increase the benefits of innovation for the benefit of humanity. This is also in this case. So with Space Rift, we'll create something controlled.
The conversation is very interesting, but the time is short. Before ending, I ask you, what should happen to make your plans to work?
The discovery is alive and breathing. In order to continue the process of progress and to protect humanity, we must to start developing a space rift system.
Who would you be? Hope heard you. Who would you like to start these goals?
NASA, National Aeronautics and Space Administration, currently has the largest budget for space exploration. NASA has the best capabilities to carry out the mission. I expect NASA to take the copyrights from me and to carry out this goals for the benefit of all humanity. I have one request from the viewers: if you believe that the discovering are real, please share. Shares will increase awareness of the need to find a planet habitable. A space rift is one of the solutions in finding a habitable planet.
Time's up. I enjoyed to have you here. Hopefully we can make another interview. Thank you, Alon Yarel. We'll meet on the next interview. Now we'll watch the new video with new discoveries. Get ready to get answers to questions that no one knew to give. From the conservation of mass law, material cannot appear or disappear, although it can change shape. Simply mass cannot appear or disappear. How our universe has a mass. All those suns and the stars. How mass is disappearing from our universe into a black hole. What causes the elliptical movement of the planets around the sun? Gravity does not have polarity. So what is the causes the elliptical movement around the sun? Stardust around our solar system. Stardust does not move. What is the cause to the appearance of the stardust around our solar system? Black holes. Where do the stars and planets disappear in the black hole? Black spots on the sun. What causes the stains on the sun? Why do spots appear each time in a different place? Measurements show that the sun is growing. The growth of the sun shows that mass has added to the sun. From where was mass added to the sun? Stars circulate around their axis. Why stars are circling their axis? What causes the spin around the axis? There is a reason why the origin of the universe has not been discovered until now. It is complex and difficult to explain. The story of our universe begins in another universe. A star exploded in the other universe. The explosion created a black hole. This black hole is a rift in space. A rift in the space that created our universe. That is how our universe was created, a rift in the space of another universe. An infinite universe empty without light, total darkness. The explosion was so massive that, in addition to the created universe, time was distorted. Because of the time distortion, there are enormous time differences between the two universes. What happens in the other universe in 1 hour or 2, in our universe is going millions of years. From the explosion of the star in the other universe, the star's rock particles entered to the black hole. The mass came out of the other universe. The mass that enters our universe is in the form of stardust. Because of differences in time between the two universes, the mass that comes is in the form of stardust. Stardust is around the solar system. Stardust contains the materials from the exploded star, including much energy of gas and fuel. From the time of the explosion in the other universe, the dust of the stars flows into our universe for millions of years. This is the time it takes to the mass to enter our universe. As a result of the friction, the stardust lighted up, mass gathered together and a small sun was created. The dust around the solar system is a testimony from the time when the sun was lighted up, but not all the material was lighted up and united with the sun. This sun has been growing for millions of years. Enough pictures, let's go for videos practical proofs. Let's see the black hole on the surface of the sun. Here's the black hole on the surface of the sun. The black hole creates a fiery looping rain on the sun. Look at this scene. Fiery looping rain on the sun. It's not a ground eruption. If the fiery looping rain on the sun was a ground eruption, then the fiery looping rain on the sun would begin from the surface of the sun. But here you will see the fiery looping rain on the sun starting from above. The renewable energy at the top of the fiery looping rain on the sun comes out direct from the black hole. The mysterious energy that appears and creates the fiery looping rain on the sun also comes directly from the black hole. On the right there is another exit of the black hole, but in another pipeline. The black hole throws hard stardust on the sun's surface, and revolves the sun on its axis. Ever since the sun was lighted up, the dust of the stars was thrown hard on the sun's surface, turning it around on its axis. Just like in this picture. Ever since the sun was lighted up for the first time, the stardust was injected into the sun without interruption by the black hole. In the early periods of the sun, the rotation was only by injecting stardust on the surface of the sun. When the sun grows, the injection has lost the angle of injection for rotation. In examining the angles of the injection of stardust on the surface of the sun, the force of stardust on the surface of the sun is a force that slows down the speed of the sun's rotation. In fact, the sun should have stopped rotation. The sun revolves around its axis and also in an elliptical motion. This means that the black hole is sometimes inside the sun and injects stardust saturated with energy and gas into the sun. When the black hole is deep in the sun, the mass stays in the sun without being able to exit. The gas and energy are trapped inside the sun. When the black hole is in the sun's shell and injects mass into the sun, the energies break out and explode on the surface of the sun. That stabilizes the rotation of the sun to a constant speed. In both cases, the black hole is invisible. This force inside the sun produces a minor elliptical movement of the sun. In 2/3 of the states, the black hole is inside the sun and we cannot see the black hole or the injection of the mass into the sun. Most of the activity of the sun is at the center of the sun. This confirms the claim about the activity of the black hole that stands and only the sun turns. This is why the thermal activity is located on the central axis of the sun. Big stars or big suns revolve slowly or standing because the stardust thrown is not strong enough to revolve them. So they slow down and sometimes stop revolving. By the diagram of the rotation of the sun around the axis, we see that not all parts of the sun are rotating at the same speed. The center of the sun rotates faster than the poles. That operates within the sun, pushing the sun, keeping the rotation constant speed of the sun. If there was no driving force of the black hole inside the sun, all the parts of the sun would rotate in constant speed and the sun would stop rotate. This is another proof of the existence of the black hole on the surface of the sun. This is why the stars and all the planets revolve around their axis. In this way, gas and fuel was injected to Earth's depth. Because the sun is growing, the heat energy also grows on the sun. Global warming will not stop. Mass of the sun grows, the gravitational force of the sun is also growing. This means that the sun's gravitation pulls Earth closer, more and more to the sun. The end of the Earth will shatter on the surface of the sun and become part of it. Planets revolves around the sun in elliptical motion. The force that causes the elliptical motion of the planets around the sun is the power of the black hole. It is a power that creates the seasons. The black hole serves as a pushing force. In the summer, the black hole behind the sun, pushing the planets from the sun to their winter. Measurements show that the sun is growing. The sun grows because the mass of stardust is added to the sun. Global warming will not stop. Stardust saturated with energy flows into the sun all the time. The atmosphere of the sun is called corona. The black hole pours huge amounts of stardust with gas into the sun. The stardust that burns on the sun's surface warms the sun's corona. This is the heat source of the sun. That's why the sun's corona is warmer 300 times more than the surface of the sun. Stardust thrown into the sun creates black spots. The gas and fuel had already been burned up, and the stardust that had been poured in large quantities into the fiery looping rain's bases of the sun had not been melted yet. That is why the bases of fiery looping rain on the sun are black. Solar storms. Solar storms are caused for two reasons. First, the black hole and its operation causes solar wind to erupt out of the black hole. Second, the activity of the black hole, which puts a large amount of energy into the sun in a short period of time, causes a flow of winds to equalize pressures and temperatures on the surface of the sun. The huge explosions on the surface of the sun are due to the deviations of the sun and the entry into the space of the black hole. This means that sometimes the black hole is inside the sun's shell and at the same time injects mass into the sun. This happens because of the asymmetrical rotation of the sun. Of course, such a case creates huge explosions on the sun. The entire area of the explosion burns in bright light, highlighting black spots around the activity of the black hole. When the black hole stops throw stardust into the sun slows down and stops activity. The sun gets cools and becomes to a regular star. That is how the universe were created. That is how the suns were created. That is how all of the stars were created. There is a close connection between the two universes. A black hole in the other universe, giving rise to a new sun in our universe. All the suns and the stars in our universe were created in this way. It works well with the Milky Way movement. The force that drives the Milky Way movement is necessarily in the other universe. If the driving force was in our universe, then the black hole would remain in one place, and only the sun would move. A driving force in the other universe is the cause of the movement of all the black holes, of all the suns and of all planets attached to the sun in the Milky Way in our universe. The stars in the Milky Way are moving in the force of the inertia of the force from the other universe. So there is not necessarily a center of the universe where a supermassive black hole is located in the center of the Milky Way. According to the presentation of creation of the universe, we have a sterile universe. Life cannot be created in our universe. From where did life come into our universe? From the description of the creation of the sun and the stars, it is about standing stars. From where is the movement of the planets? All the planets in the solar system and all the planets whose speed has been measured are all moving at the same speed. From where is the constant speed? From where did the planets come from? The only possibility that answers these questions is that the planets were launched from another universe by a black hole, full and without any time differences between the two universes. That explains the kinetic motion of the planets. This is also the reason for the constant speed of the planets. And this is also the only possibility that life will reach our universe. Earth came to our universe from another universe and brought with it life to our universe. So the planets suddenly appeared in the space of our universe, like magic. This argument leads to evidence for the existence of another universe. It is not possible that our universe have two entrances when one entrance has time differences, and the other has no time differences. Therefore, this is evidence of the existence of the third universe. By discovering the black hole on the surface of the sun, we confirm the existence of additional universes. A rift in space necessarily leads to another universe. In the listing of the existing universes, there are 6 known universes. 1. Our universe. 2. The universe from which the sun is created. 3. The universe from which the earth comes. 4. The universe that created the earth. 5. The universe that created from our universe. 6. The universe that created from our universe with time distortion. The likelihood of being life in the other universe is much higher than in our universe. It is also likely that we have the same ancestor. When Earth was divided to continents, development on all continents was small and slow. When all continents are united in many areas, the development of mankind has accelerated and grown. The result is that quality of life is growing all over the world. The development of humanity is expected to be accelerated even more when another life is joined beyond the rift in space. Our planet is looking for habitable planets. Population density, global warming and loss of natural resources require finding another planet that is habitable. Because of the distance and technology difficulties, we may not be able to reach those planets that may be habitable. For searching of a new home for humanity, it is appropriate and desirable to combine additional channels, like other universes. Through a rift in space, we can enter to other universes. Global warming will not stop, we must find a new home. Time is limited and we must exhaust all possibilities. A rift in space can be done by artificial means. Making a rift in space to another universe is the best chance of humanity to meet friendly aliens. Such a move will save mankind and life on Earth. We're done, thank you.